Last week, when we last saw our little fangs, they were beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of men. No, they were beset on all sides by agents of Aegis. They had managed to perform some rituals, discovered some hidden memories, and eventually found themselves surrounded by agents of Aegis, hunters, a private corporation of hunters, basically, who's been making supernatural creatures' lives difficult in the world. And as we last saw our friends, Fiona and Costa had just been coming up the stairs and had dispatched one of the soldiers. I'd seen a couple more about to burst through a door behind which was hiding Margot. And the door that led to a room in which we had Desmond, Elise, and Vico, and Austin Osmond. So, who will live and who will die? We'll never know. Well, we will in a few minutes. So let's dive into it right away, shall we, for this little finale here. What is a city but a dream? A collective imagination of what a place can be, what it should be, and often the nightmare that it really is. The buildings are tombstones, their insides are grey sepulchres, the roads are clogged and broken capillaries, the cell towers are the echoes of lonely, alienated voices that reach out for some measure of comfort. Every red light, every standstill traffic is a little death, one of a million cuts that shreds us into ribbons of resentment. Noisy neighbors, the grunts of sex or violence or illness adorn the very air that carries the thick smog of dust and industry. Dust that renders our windows opaque, silt that slips in between the cracks and settles in. The occasional flower in bloom pushing through the cracks in the pavement is a solitary flick of color soon trod underfoot. We meet others like us, vacant-eyed and husk-dry. We drink and smoke, bind and choke, fuck and leave behind a mess in every sense of the word, all just to feel something, to carve out a tiny sliver of passion or pleasure or happiness from the grave-gray gathering of our souls in this concrete hell. Yet whether you rage or roll over, whether you scream or stay silent, the buildings continue to hem us in, giant sun-drenched monoliths staring down dispassionately at our daily debasement. If a city is a dream, then by all that is holy, let the dreamer awake. Margot, the door has splintered with a small explosion of some kind. There is smoke and fire everywhere. Fiona, you are down the hall. You see two Aegis soldiers about to breach through the door. They are wearing the same kind of black tactical gear that the others were wearing. The smoke is thick. The sound of the explosive echoes through the hallway. Inside the apartment, Elise and Desmond, you see this explosion that splinters the door. You see Margot standing there behind it. What do you all want to do?
Bleak, to activate Lethal Body is free for me.
Yeah.
Is that like a full turn action to activate it?
No, it's just something that you do.
Okay,
this is
so
basically something that's just on if you want it to be on.
Yeah, so I want that to be on, and it does cause verbatim horrendous damage to mortals.
Yeah,
to it?
Excellent.
Okay, so is there an Aegis agent on the other side of the door from me then?
Yeah, so right now the door is splintered in two. The half that's opposite you has kind of fallen down. The other half is slowly opening towards you. And there are two agents that are in the hallway. Okay. I am going to go and assume that everyone who is inside house or the apartment as hidden away from the door so that they can't shoot you standing in the door. So I'll assume you're hidden around a corner or something like that, but kind of try to give me an idea where you hide. Like, are you nearby to still keep an eye on things, or did you go and hide in the bathtub or something like that? Let's do this and then we'll do an initiative. So you're going to do what exactly, Margot? A couple of them are going to be coming in.
I would like to put my back up against the wall completely flat and then using leverage from that, kicking the absolute living shit out of them through the door, or the remaining of the door.
Okay, so as soon as one of them comes through, you're going to kick the door and into them.
Yes.
Okay.
As hard as I possibly can.
Excellent sauce. What is, let's finish inside the apartment and we'll go see what Fiona and Costa are doing. Elise and Desmond, what will you be doing and kind of where are you hiding? Give me a bit of an idea. So if you can imagine that the apartment is basically laid out and that there's the door and then there's kind of a long section and there's the dining room and then the kitchen's off to the side and then there's the living room and then there's a little corridor that goes down to a couple of bedrooms and a bathroom.
Elise is, she's gonna skitter off into the darkness and hide. She knows she is useless in combat, so probably towards the corridor with the bedrooms, I would think.
Okay, absolutely. Desmond.
So, one, I need to own a decision I made during the last session. I decided that it would be a really great idea to activate heightened senses. And I failed my roll to turn them off before that explosion happened.
Wow. All right. So you will be disoriented and not have an action the first one.
Yep. So I am also assuming in that way, I know that Elise had been holding Desmond's hand. Unless she continued to hold it, Desmond has lost Elise and is now focused when he's able on trying to find her.
Okay. Yeah. She drops your hand. She's fucking out of there.
Like, you're on your own, buddies. Excellent. Hey, thank you very much for the gifted sub. We appreciate it. And outside in the hall, you've just killed one of the Aegis agents there, Fiona. You see that there are two others that are about to go in through the door. Costa's coming up the stairs behind you, kind of wide-eyed. You figure he's probably not going to be super useful in this, but what would you like to do?
Yeah, I was considering draining this guy in the hallway, but there are more pressing matters at hand. I will activate Lethal Body as well, and I would like to use Dread Gaze on the one that, like, is one in the apartment and one is just outside?
Well, they're kind of stacked on either side of the door, and then one is going to go in, the other one's going to go in behind them.
Cool. I'm going to run up and do Dread Gaze and bully them into the apartment so they are cornered. Like, I knew they were going in there already, but if they're afraid of me, then maybe Margot can head them off because I know that she's also a badass.
Go ahead and just...
It's a rouse check.
Yeah, but before you even get to that, actually, yeah, so make your rouse check. But then there's something else I want you to do. Hold on, is the rouse check for your Dread Gaze?
Yes.
Okay, so hold on to it first. Give me a wits plus awareness. Begin with.
I'm trying to find awareness. There it is. Fuck off. Sorry, that was me telling Demiplane to fuck off.
Demiplane, do you?
2 successes, though I have one. I'm going to use a night move to negate because I got a
messy critical.
Messy critical, yeah.
All right, so in order to have messy critical, you have to have 2 onks and one of them on your hunger dice with pips.
Okay, then I have. Okay, but then it's just it's 2 successes then.
Okay,
yep.
Cool. All right, awesome. I'm just gonna say this: you do what you want with it. They are wearing some kind of strange, multicolored visor. You've noticed on the one that you killed.
Say that one more time.
They are wearing some kind of strange, multicolored visors on their helmets.
Copy that. Okay, cool. Then instead of using Dread Gaze, because that is clearly something that they are blocking, and I've seen the mesh at their neck, I am going to try and go in for an attack at the one closest to me, just like pulling out blade and going wherever I can.
All right, excellent. So let's do an initiative, everyone.
Okay.
Remember that you can open the cheat sheet if you want.
Oh yeah, because I don't remember how to do that.
Oh, I got it's pinned, right?
Actually, so hold on. Second, I think we don't actually roll any sort of initiative. Right, we don't actually roll any sort of initiative in the first combat we do. I'm like, we don't roll initiative. There's no initiative. So the way it goes is that there's an initiative priority. At first, it'd be surprise attackers. I will rule that Fiona, you're a surprise attacker, and then Margot. I'm gonna say, Margot, that you're not, because they expect things in the apartment to kind of be ambushed and ready for them. So you'll get your regular action. You're just not gonna go into the surprise action.
Okay.
So Fiona, you can go on the surprise action round because they are not expecting you to come up their tailpipe. Great. So you're going to do your attack roll on him. It's going to be your strength plus your
Brawl?
Yep.
That's cool. That's 7 dice. But I'm a hungry little bitch, but it is 4 successes.
Okay. He is not going to dodge because he doesn't know you're coming. All right. So that was 4 successes.
Sure was.
You describe to me what you do.
Fiona, despite the fact that she could be a fucking rage case, knows how to be quiet when she needs to be quiet. So she very quietly pads her way up the hall to the closest one to her. And as soon as she's within 4 inches of him, she wraps an arm around his neck, yanks him back, and goes, "Oh, kitty, you're in the wrong fucking place," and just right through the neck, pulls it out, and knocks him onto the ground.
Okay, so you're attacking with your knife?
Yep.
Okay. So the armor will kick in. You stab him. And do a good chunk of damage, and because you have your thing on, you gave him a really, really solid hit. He's not out, but you gave him a really he's struggling, and there's blood kind of spurting all over the place.
Could I also add that if Fiona sees that he didn't get felled with one move, that she would land on top of his back and pin his arms at the shoulder blades down to the ground, with her full weight, and just press his neck into the ground?
Well, I will say that you can haul him into the ground, but you're not going to be able to pull a second maneuver of pinning him down. So you can haul him down to the ground.
Yeah, I think it would be a stab, and then she pulls out thinking that he's a goner, but he's still moving, so she pushes him to the ground.
Okay, I'm going to need you to make a rouse check because of the amount of blood that is currently spouting out of his neck.
Cool. Make it go to there, please.
While that's happening, Margot, close combat already engaged, so that would be you. So you can go ahead and make your attack.
I failed.
You failed too. Your hunger will go up by 1.
Yeah, so
the
she's
system
kicking,
should handle all that for you.
she's kicking the shit out of this guy as hard as she can. And just so you know, with this lethal body, she does ignore 2 armor levels. So you know.
You have lethal body also, Fiona?
Yeah.
All right, so if you ignore 2 armor levels, you're actually going to kill him.
Cool. Then I would like to land and just give a little dip and lap.
No problem. So this one is felled. All right, go for it.
Strength and brawl.
Strength and brawl. Yep.
Okay. Okay, here we go. Oh, I didn't roll it. 3 successes.
3 successes. You describe to me what you do.
So backs up against the wall. She's using that as leverage. She raises her leg up and through the door, hopefully kicking it off the hinges altogether just for funsies, is kicking this guy as hard as she can, aiming really for the kidneys, but it's hard to tell, but in the side of his gut.
Excellent. So you push through. You feel a bit more resistance than you expected, but he still kind of goes barreling away from you, pushed by the door, and hits the wall and kind of drops to one knee. He's not out, but you've done some good damage to him. You ignore 2 armor. That's good.
She is taking out her asp at this time, and kind of flicking it open, and we'll look at this guy and say, wrong fucking apartment, dude.
Excellent. You are disoriented. Desmond, Elise, you run off down the corridor. You can go into one of the bedrooms or the bathroom. Which one would you like to go in?
Talking to me.
I'm talking to you, Elise.
Yes. I want to go into the bedroom.
Okay, the one on the left or the one on the right? Might be important later.
Which one smells like it's Vico's room?
Would be the one on the left.
That's what I'm going into.
Okay.
And of course, I'm not hiding in this room, just kind of like quietly closing the door behind me, and then I'm snooping.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Did you leave your old boyfriend alone?
Yep.
Do you want to tell me that you grabbed him and hauled him with you, or you left him there?
No, she left him there.
Okay. Desmond, Elise is over here. Desmond, are you gonna throw yourself on the ground, Desmond? Do anything, or are you gonna just kind of stumble around trying to find Elise?
I think Desmond did throw himself on the ground just when the explosion went off in response to that, and is trying to crawl in whatever direction he thinks Elise went in. Feel free to point me in whatever direction you think is most interesting, Bleak.
Okay, excellent. Kato, you hear Costa say, "Shit, 2 more." And you see from down the hall opposite where you came from, there's another door there that opens, and 2 more Aegis guards come up. They will take shots at you.
Sure.
Their guns don't make gun sounds. They make this weird kind of compressed air sound, but more powerful.
As soon as she hears it, she goes, "Fuck silencers!"
Okay.
Do these guys also have that like rainbow visor?
Yeah.
Okay.
I am going to say that you wouldn't be wearing armor, right? Be something that you...
I don't know. I do have Cat's Grace. I don't know if that helps me at all.
Let's do... Do you have any fortitude?
Fortitude. What page would that be on? Merits.
Yeah, that would be your discipline.
Disciplines. I have no fortitude, no.
Okay. So you take 4 damage.
Eat shit.
Now it's superficial damage. So when you mark your box, you don't want the X, you want just the slash. Because you are a kindred, you half that. You take 2 damage.
Okay.
Okay. For what it's worth, I'll double check how you can heal that, but you can heal that really easily. However, their ammo has a special property. and you're gonna about to feel what that property is, and that property is that it dilutes your blood. And so from now on and for the rest of the scene, whenever you roll a rouse check, you do so at disadvantage.
Hilarious.
I know they love it. They love it so much. And so Kato has this ad on rouse check. And the other guy is going to shoot at Costa because he sees Costa. Okay, Costa also gets hit, and he stumbles back a little bit. Back up.
I think Fiona takes a moment and goes, "Rally yourself, you fucking bitch."
The one that you kicked, Bones, turns around, levels his weapon at you, and fires at you.
Okay.
And that's gonna hit.
I also have Cat's Grace. That doesn't really count.
It doesn't
for this
do anything for
that's
that.
right. I'm sorry.
So you take 7 damage, and you you half that because it's regular damage. You half that, so we're gonna half round down, so you can take 3 damage. And you also now suffer from the rouse checks done at disadvantage.
Ouch.
As these little flechettes, these dozens of little flechette pierce your wound, your flesh, tearing through the skin and the cloth that you're wearing super easily, and you start feeling basically you're feeling kind of anemic. You feel like your blood's not pumping as strong. You're feeling like you got low blood pressure. You feel like you're getting a little kind of sluggish as these rounds punch through you. And that is all. We are back to the top. There are no more surprise action. Now we are going to do the melee actions that are already in progress. So that will be Margot on your guy ahead of you.
Excellent. With the asp, she walks up to him and gets to whacking as hard as she possibly can.
Go for it.
She's pissed. Is that it's strength and melee?
Yeah, he's gonna attempt to sacrifice his action to try and protect himself.
Okay. Give me 1 second. I've got a red asp. And I'm pulling up my cheat sheet.
Your asp will give you a +2 damage value.
Excellent. So, yep. Okay, just 3 successes, no messy criticals.
He's got 4 successes.
That is unfortunate.
In fact, he's got more than that because he's got 2 10s. So he's got 7 successes. So as you approach him and lift your asp to give him a hit.
Mm-hmm. He rolls away.
He does not roll away. He lifts up and sort of goes into your hit as you're coming down with the thing. He kind of lifts up and comes up right next to you, and with the butt of his gun strikes you in the throat.
Ouch.
So that was, so that was 4, 5, 6. That was 6 successes. Sorry, not 7. You had 3. That's 3 successes over. We'll give an improvised weapon of +1. That will give him a 5 damage. You're going to take 5 damage, half that again, so you're going to take 2 damage. As he knocks you right into the throat. Now, you can heal by doing rouse checks.
Which we do at disadvantage now. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Shit bird.
I'm assuming I wait until my turn to heal.
You can do it on this action. I'm just going to tell you exactly how that runs.
Because I don't know how to roll at disadvantage.
So to roll at disadvantage, you're going to, instead of doing an actual rouse check, you're going to go in the bottom where the dice roller is. You're going to pick 2 d10s, and you're going to roll it and take the smallest one.
Okay, give me a second.
And for the record, if your health tracker is full of non-aggravated damage, you're not out. You're just taking some penalties because it's negligible for you.
It doesn't give me the actual number of dice. It just tells me if there's a success or not.
Oh, it's adding both. Someone did it the other day at disadvantage and it worked.
Can I just roll 2d10 real quick?
Yeah.
That's not a d10.
I'm trying to... Why don't I have how to heal?
Awesome.
On my cheat sheet.
Well, I got a 9 is my lower number. I got a 10 and a 9.
Okay, so you're good.
It's the last good roll I'll have of the evening.
I don't know why I don't have the healing.
I don't know.
All right, I'm not gonna go and check it. I don't know why I don't have it, but I'm not gonna go and check it. You made your Rouse check. What's your blood potency? I'm gonna say that you can heal a number of damage equal to your blood potency every time you make a Rouse check. 2. All right, so you can heal 2 damage.
Okay.
All right. Then it would be range damage. What are range attack? What are you gonna do, Margot? Sorry, Fiona. Fiona.
Yeah.
Ranged. Sorry.
Yeah, because you're at
saying
range now. So do you want to close in with them? Do you want to go in the apartment? What do you want to do?
I feel like best opportunity if fucking Costa can get his shit together would be to go for these guys in the hallway.
All right, so you're going to charge one of them. Go for it.
Yeah.
No problem. So you charge ahead. I will say that with your vampiric speed, you manage to reach them before they can shoot you again. So go ahead and reach one of them.
Cool, great. Are they staggered or are they right next to each other?
They're pretty good at tactics. So I'm going to say that they came in and they're each on one side, along one of the wall. They're a little separate.
And they have full helmets on, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, then my original plan was not going to work. Then I am going to use so with lethal body, if it'll let me open the whole thing. There we go. Cool. I am going to try to whatever one I have found to rip his arm out of his socket.
Okie dokie. Go ahead and make a brawl plus combat. He is going to actively try and fight you back because he's not.
Strength plus brawl? Is that what you're asking for?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's pretty comfortable having 2 arms and would rather not lose one.
That's one success, but I would like to use a night move.
All right. So with a 9 move, you can add 2 dice, but it's going to cost you 2 9 moves after the roll.
Okay, so 2 regular dice?
Yeah.
Ugh, that's neither of those are a success, so I only got 1 fucking success.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie.
So how many successes did you get all in all? Sorry.
1.
1 success. So as you charge him and get to him, he is going to actually kind of see you coming and he's going to brace for you. And as you come in, he's going to just kind of dodge in and give you a shoulder bump. And it's not going to do any damage, but it's going to push you back and you're going to fall on your ass in front of him in the hall.
Oh, that's fucking embarrassing.
Yeah, so you do a rouse check and you get your blood potency and healing every turn. So or anytime you want. Just good to know that.
Yeah, it's a rouse check at disadvantage.
I know, they know this. They know this. What do you think they're doing that? So he bumps you and you drop to the ground. Costa is coming up behind you, and as this guy is kind of aiming right at you at his feet, Costa is going to try to jump him. And Casa barrels into him. He doesn't do any damage because he doesn't have enough success, but he kind of barrels into him and he's kind of grappling with him and preventing him from shooting you. The other guy that you're fighting with is going to run forward and he's going to head towards the apartment. Give me, Kato, a wits and awareness roll.
Okay.
Coming around the corner, this guy's going to look inside the room, see Desmond standing there, kind of blind and moving around, and he's going to shoot you, Desmond.
Cool.
You love that for yourself?
Cool. 3 successes on my part.
I'm
It's
so
gonna be-
sorry, Desmond.
Hold on, Kato, for a second. It's going to be 8 damage, Desmond, so half that, so it's going to be 4 damage. As you also get shot with these things, which is now going to cost you on your Ross checks.
Wonderful. We'd love to see it.
So it's 4 damage for you. How many successes did you have, Kato?
Sorry, so many things up. 3.
As you charge him and as you're kind of like hearing him fighting, you hear his radio relaying messages to him. And you hear in the headpiece, all units converge to Montreal East location. Suspected blood fiend nest uncovered, possibly related to the alert attack on Unit 7. Verona protocol initiated. That guy coming around the corner shot at Desmond. The guy that Margot's fighting, we did their actions. Desmond, what are you doing? You've been shot. You are starting to kind of be able to see what's happening and what's going on around you.
Yeah, I do not love that. I also do not love the fact that I have lost Elise, and theoretically, I am semi-tasked with her safe return. And so Desmond is going to do what he can to disengage from this fight and move down the hall in the hopes of finding Elise.
Right. So earlier when you told me to send you wherever I thought would be most interesting, I decided that most interesting would be right next to where Margot is. So you've come all the way across the living room and you're now right next up to Margot, who's fighting this guy. You're right in there, and there's the guy that just shot you is standing right there next to you. So in order to be able to disengage and not get shot or not kind of take some extra damage, I'm going to ask you to make me an athletics and dexterity roll.
Something that I am extremely, extremely good at. That is 1 success.
1 success is good enough. You manage to move back without him taking notice of you, and you start heading down the corridor. Elise, did you close the door behind you?
Yeah.
All right. So, Desmond, you come down the corridor. There is Vico's room on the left, the bathroom up front, and the guest bedroom on the right. I am going to ask you to roll me a d4, and because I think it would kind of be natural for you to think about Vico's room, I'm going to say that 3 or 4 are Vico's room.
Okay.
2 is the bathroom, and 1 is... No, Desmond is rolling this. Sorry, Creep. I want to see where he's going to go. Yeah, I'll get to you in a second. So roll me a d4. 2 and 4 will be Vico's room. 2 will be the bathroom, and 1 will be the guest bedroom. Check.
It was 1.
It was a 1. You open the door and you see the guest bedroom where Osmond was staying. You see, an old duffel bag, some clothes strewn about the room, a couple of books, things of that nature. It smells of old man, and there's no Elise.
Desmond absolutely thinks Elise is hiding in here because of her connection to him. So he thinks he's on the right track.
Excellent. You step into the room boldly. Elise, you are in the room. You've closed the door behind you. You are in Vico's room. What would you like to do?
I would like to snoop.
You would like to snoop. All right.
Yeah.
Looking for
Yeah,
anything
I think she can
specific?
hear the things going on outside, and she's just like la 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 la
She's
la
just
la,
figuring
like
that
just like
everyone's got it
snooping
handled.
around the room.
All right. I don't know. So you're gonna make me a wit plus investigation roll.
Yeah. Oh, that's a crap roll. I would like to add a night move to that. I would like to be successful at snooping, so... one success. I tried.
Were you looking for anything specific, or you're just kind of scoping around?
I think she's just trying to get a better idea of this Vico guy.
Very Spartan, not a lot of personal effects at all. Like he's got 4 black turtlenecks, 4 black slacks, 6 pairs of underwear, 6 pairs of black socks, 2 jackets, no art anywhere. You know this guy's an art collector, but he doesn't have anything in this room. The walls are black, the floor is black. Stronghold D&D, thank you so much for the gifted subs, my man. You are a paladin, all right, Tim. Thank you so much, man. Hey, I look forward to seeing you over at GaryCon. The walls are just kind of black glass again. The floor is completely black. There's no carpet. Everything is, you kind of feel almost like you've stepped into this black hole, and there's really nothing. And the black hole kind of extend to Vico, V-I-C-O-T, kind of extend to the personality that this thing gives. Like there is basically absolutely nothing. The only thing that does draw your attention that you get that there are a lot of the same symbols that you've seen, a lot of those inverted triangles and writing and stuff like that in chalk on one of the walls, but they're kind of repetitions of things that you've seen before. There's nothing new to them.
All right.
But yeah, there's nothing personal at all anywhere through here. Speaking of Vico, down the hallway, as the guard is wrestling with Costa and you're on your ass in front of him, the shadows behind darken, and then all of a sudden it becomes pitch black everywhere around you, and you hear Vico's voice that says, "Get into the apartment," and it's gotten completely pitch black down in the end of the corridor where you're at, Fiona, and you hear struggling still down there. Back up to people engaged in melee already, so that will be Margot.
Yeah, so does that mean there's 2 agents of Aegis now in this apartment with me?
Yep. And Desmond was right there next to you and he left.
She's kind of... fuck. Okay, well, it's not my problem right now. I have a question for you. Using the arms of Ahriman, do I have an idea that these weird visors would be potent against it?
There's nothing to indicate that they would.
It's all I have right now. Well, it's all I can do. I can't do this, and I can't whack as well. I mean, I can hit him again, but if I do this, then that's it. I'm committed. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that then.
Can you read that out for me, please?
Yeah, I certainly can. The vampire summons shadowy extensions from unlit spots in the area. Within line of sight, local shadows distort as they flow across the walls and floors and converge on one or more hapless victims. Whether by gliding up the body of the victim or engaging in a mystic grapple with the victim's own shadow, the arms are able to hold them in place or smother them. I want to smother them very badly. And
what's the mechanic?
So it says it's 1 rouse check, but the dice pool is wits and oblivion.
Okay. So you're going to start with a rouse check?
And it's still at an advantage, or disadvantage, rather.
For the entirety of the scene.
Okay, and you're good if I just roll actual?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. First one's a 5. Second one is a 5.
All right, so you fail your rouse check, so your hunger goes up by 1.
Hey, can I use a night move?
You can
I use 2 night moves.
Technically, no, I'll let you use 2 night moves because technically there's nothing about rouse checks around. But I'll let you. I'll totally, if you want to spend 2, I'll let you get an automatic success on it.
Beautiful. I'll do that right now.
Awesome. So you don't get any hungrier. Your arms come out. So now give me your wits plus oblivion, and I believe that's the number of tentacles that will pop up.
So I don't have anything to, like, it doesn't allow me to roll anything with my oblivion.
Yeah, you click the
Oh
discipline
yes,
itself.
I can. I'm a liar. I lied like a liar. That is 2 successes.
That's 2 tentacles. Do they have stats in your thing? Just because I can't click on them.
And I would love to tell you what they are if you give me uno momento, por favor.
Are you putting them on the guy that just showed up with a gun and the guy you've been beating up?
If I have 2 tentacles, can I do
One
on each?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that is beans.
I'm gonna go ahead and
I think it's a success, not a messy critical.
what do you have?
According to the guide. So I have an Ankh and then an Ankh with the 2 pips.
As the Ankh with the 2 pips, hunger die? Is it red or black?
They're both black.
Okay, so then you're fine. So then that is
Okay.
just a regular crit.
Excellent. Good job, Bones.
Sorry,
Good
that's
job.
just no. That's not even critical. That's just 1 tap.
Yeah, it's success.
So just-
Success.
How many successes?
2. I had 2 successes.
So they will use your Wits Oblivion to attack and deal superficial damage or grapple, adding half the user's potence. Do you have any potence?
No.
Okay.
Blood potency, is that what you mean?
No, potence.
Okay, just kidding.
No,
No.
that's good. So all right. So you got 3 successes on your Wits and Oblivion. They will attack, doing an extra damage each. That's 4. Right. The one that you had damaged already crumples to the ground as the the tentacle just kind of beats him down. The other one is kind of wrestling with it.
Go to sleep. Go to sleep. Yeah.
Go to
Excellent.
sleep. Go to sleep. It's not that kind of game. Back up to Fiona. So you're in complete darkness. You're hearing struggling, fighting. You hear struggling behind you again, but you can't really see what it is. But you knew that you were kind of on your ass facing back. So if you want to scooch back, I would let you just scooch out of the darkness. If you
Yeah, that's what I'll do.
You scooch out of the darkness. As you kind of get out of the darkness, you look over your shoulder and you see that the direction you came are 2 other guys coming.
Fucking dicks.
What would you like to do?
She's gonna scramble to her feet and attempt to get these fuckers.
You're gonna head all the way to the other side and try to fight them?
What else is she gonna do?
You could try and get away.
There's the door to the stairwell.
Yeah, so they're coming up the stairwell that you came up.
So getting away would involve going in through the apartment and then jumping out a window.
There are no windows.
Cool. So you say you drop a GM hint of getting away, and there's
No, I'm just saying that like
to
if the
get
fight's
away.
overwhelming, you try to run away from it. Right now, there are 2 places you could try to run away now, which is go back through the darkness and out that stairwell, or go into the apartment, or you can go and fight these guys.
I'm going into the apartment.
You get to the apartment door. There's one guy there. You could attack that guy if you wanted. That's wrestling with some kind of dark tentacle that seems to be crawling out of his own shadow and trying to strangle him.
Yeah, cool. I'd like to jump on his back.
Go for it.
Great. What do you want me to roll for that?
Brawl and strength.
That is a success. I have a 1 critical hunger die, so it's a messy critical.
No, because in order to get a critical, you have to get 2 critical die.
Okay, then
So
I just
if-
got 3 successes.
That's good. Okay. 3 successes, you get 2 extra strength because of your thing. You come up behind the guy and he's been wrestling with this thing, and you grab him from behind and you start pulling, and you hear his neck start to snap as you're pulling him, and he kind of goes limp, and you push him and go into the apartment, dropping him on the ground, and you see Margot there sort of controlling these 2 tentacles that have just beaten down these 2 guys. You can speak to each other briefly if you want.
I think as I'm kind of panting, I look at her and I go, "Nice move, sis."
Something like that. Can we can go. What's outside?
There's fucking 4 guys, and your boy Vico has got this big old shadow thing at the end of the hall. I don't know how we're gonna get out of here.
Where are the fucking other 2?
I
You
know
look around, you
fucking
don't see them.
How's Austin doing?
He's crumpled in the far corner of the room.
I think Margot looks at Fiona. That's not our problem, right?
I don't think that's our fucking problem.
Fucking A. I guess Margot's gonna go through the apartment looking for.
They're heading
The
down the
other-
corridor where the others went. Back
Yeah.
in the guest bedroom, Desmond, what are you doing? You've searched the place entirely, and unless Elise can transform into a shadow, she is not in this.
In that case, I'm imagining Desmond essentially steps out of the room just as Margot is walking down the
Yeah.
corridor.
I'm assuming, Fiona, did you go with Margot, or are you staying by the door?
Oh no, Fiona's following along with Margot because strength in numbers.
You two turn the corner, and you see Desmond coming out of one of the bedrooms.
The fuck have you been
Trying to find Elise.
trying? There are fucking bloody agents outside trying to fucking kill us all. You thought you'd just go find Elise like it was a summer picnic? Let's fucking go, man.
You're the boss.
Fiona like narrows their eyes at Desmond and is like, I don't know about you.
There are 2 doors, one ahead of you and one to the left.
I'm just gonna start kicking doors in.
Fuck yeah.
You each kick a door in.
Yeah.
Yeah, simultaneously.
Go ahead and make me a strength roll. Strength and athletics.
Okay. I'd love to.
I think my demiplane froze.
It's 3 successes.
You kick the door in, Margot, and see an empty bathroom ahead of you.
Okay.
Sorry, my demiplane froze. I had to restart.
Whilst they're kicking doors down, what is Elise doing in the bedroom? You've searched the bedroom. There's really nothing. There's not even a speck of dust.
I think after finding nothing, she is probably going to move across the hall to the other room to snoop in there, unknowing of all these things that are currently taking place in the process.
Fiona, you haul back to kick the door, and just as you push forward, it opens, and Elise is standing there, and you kind of drop down, and you catch yourself so as to not fall, as Elise is standing there and opening the door in front of you.
You get like the look of like, there's not anything in there if you're looking for something.
I'm looking for you, lass. Let's fucking go.
Did you kill them all?
No, I haven't fucking killed them all. That's why I'm a little bit pressed for time. Let's fucking go.
As you gather the 4 of you in there, from behind Elise in Vico's room through the shadows, Vico steps back out, and he looks at the 4 of you, and he's like, if you're ready to leave, Margot and I can get us out of here. I'm going to need your help, Margot.
Fuck out of here.
Yeah. Let's.
He ushers you all into the bedroom. He's like, ugh. And he says, hold on one second. And he rushes out. And you wait for a moment, and he comes back, and he's got Osmond in his arms, and he drops him on the ground. He's like, they got him. And you can see that he took one of the stray around as he drops or deposits Osmond's body on the ground and gives him a very gentle sort of run through his hair with his fingers and then closes his eyes. Sorry, old man. And he places him in the bed. And then you hear outside gunfire still and other things. He's like, I couldn't get your guy with me. He's gonna be on his own, he says to you, Fiona. And then he looks at you, Margot, and he goes, what we did earlier, we're gonna do it again. But this time you gotta hold hands with somebody else, and when you go through, you pull them through. And if you don't pull hard enough, they're gonna stay stuck halfway between here and there. So everyone grab someone's hand and hold on tight.
She immediately grabs Fiona's hand.
Fiona reaches back and grabs Elise.
Elise is just standing there staring at the body on the bed.
I think Fiona jostles her and is like, we gotta go. Come on.
She takes Desmond's hand.
Desmond squeezes your hand, but doesn't say anything.
Vico takes Desmond's hand, and both he and Margot place their hands on the black glass of the wall. Margot, you're going to give me a rouse check?
Yeah, still at disadvantage.
Yeah.
That's a 10. That's a 9 again.
Excellent. Beautiful. Now you're going to give me a Wits plus Oblivion roll.
Okay. 8. And Oblivions. Maybe. I would love to. Actually, that's so crazy. Sorry, let me refresh Demiplane. It's cursed.
Demiplane cursed.
It might be. One moment, please. It's fine now. It's all better. That is 1 success.
1 success. Do you wish to do some night move action?
Do I need it?
Do you wish to do some night move action?
Yeah, I do, actually. That's so crazy you say that. Yeah, I would like to use a night move.
All right. So you can spend 2 night moves and roll 2 extra dice.
Okay. Yeah. I'll do that.
Or you can spend a willpower and re-roll 3 of your failures.
I'm gonna spend a willpower.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second. Just regular, right?
Yep.
2, 3. That is 2 more successes.
All right, that's good. 3, that is good. You push through the glass again, and this time you feel as if there's like a strong wind or a current pushing against you as you try to go through the glass and try to pull Fiona and the others with you, and Vico's doing the same thing. The rest of you see the glass become like this wall of black liquid, and Vico and Margot's hands go through it, and as they step through, they pull you through along with them. Now, I'm going to have to ask each of you to make me a willpower check, and that's Fiona, Elise, and Desmond. So roll a number of d10s, go to your willpower. Basically, if you click on your willpower, you should be able to just roll it straight up.
It just keeps popping out the description. Do you want us
Yeah, just roll it on d10s outside. Yeah,
regular ones or anything involving
just regular.
hunger?
No, just regular d10s.
2 successes.
2.
That's 0 successes for me. I feel like I need to burn some night moves to get that.
Probably, or you can spend a willpower.
Burn a willpower to lose a willpower die. I think I would rather do some night moves.
Yep.
3 successes here.
Yeah.
Do I burn 2 night moves in order to get those 3 dice?
No, you burn 2 night moves to get 2 extra dice to roll. Or you burn 1 willpower and re-roll 3 dice.
That's 1 success.
Okay, that's all you need. The 3 of you feel this intense sense of fear as you approach this dark liquid, this dark wall. You feel as if you go in there, you're going to lose yourself, you're going to lose everything, and you, for a moment, kind of pull back and try to avoid it, but eventually you steel yourself, and as the others pull you through, you step through with them, and you find yourselves in this strange place. It's not like this, it's not an oubliette, you're not in this strange sort of lost void. You find yourself in kind of a strange world that is sort of a strange replica of the one that you were in before, but everything that would have been walls or a building or anything like that is just these wisps of shadows that surround you. The ground itself is ash gray, and the sky overhead is this kind of rippling black and gray sky. You don't really know where you are. You've never seen this place, and even you, Margot, are a little bit disoriented. But as you come through, Vico turns around and says, "We'll be safer, and we can get somewhere to exit. I know where we can go. We just have to keep pushing through and keep walking. And nothing's gonna happen to you here. You're safe. You're fine." And he immediately starts walking and sort of striking off and heading in a direction. What would the lot of you like to do? You are finally kind of out of immediate danger. You still feel that strange feeling in your blood that has been afflicting you since you got shot. But you're finally getting to catch your breath, so to speak, as you don't breathe. But you're finally kind of getting to kind of catch your breath and refocus and sort of sort yourselves out. So what would you like to do?
I think Margot's going to sort of assess her injuries.
How many do you have?
I went down to, I have 3 total.
3 total? Well, I'm going to tell you what, since we're out of combat, I will let you heal everything with a rouse check.
Okay.
At disadvantage.
Of freaking course.
Same thing, Fiona, if you want to heal it.
Well, I can't, because my lower number was a 2.
And mine was a 0.
Is that 0 as in 10?
No, as in I have no successes on the rouse check.
All right. Both of you try to heal your wounds. You feel the weakness in your blood as it's trying to kind of pump up and tries to get you healed, but you can't. And all you're doing is you're getting hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. And so at some point you just kind of stop and decide to ride it out for a little bit because it's clearly not working.
I think I'll go to Fiona and say we should probably eat soon.
You fucking bet.
And she'll look to the other 2. Are you all right?
Desmond looks down at himself as though he didn't even realize he was bleeding. And in part that might be because his gaze has been focused on Elise since we stepped through and we've had this moment. But he just says, "I'll be fine."
Elise is very much so not home right now. She's just walking, doing as she's told, but her eyes are far away.
I think Margot pulls that piece of paper out that she had taken from Elise and takes Elise's wrist and flips her palm upwards and kind of pushes it into her palm and closes her fingers over it. I think this belongs to you.
She lifts it to look at it. Thank you.
Oh, we gotta go. And she's gonna start after Vico.
Desmond stays close to Elise. He doesn't say anything, but he is still holding her hand.
She walks with him quietly.
As you walk along this realm, you, for the first time in a very long time, first time since you were last alive, you feel cold. You instinctively know that the night never ends. The sky is always this dark, the light is always this kind of strange gray of early dawn on an overcast day. There's a sterile quality and rigidity to the, and lifelessness to the surroundings as you walk through them. You kind of feel like you recognize in places certain buildings that you would know in Ville Marie, things of that nature, but all of it's just these wispy, sort of shadowy echoes of the world that you know. As you walk through it, Desmond, you start seeing here and there in the shadows images and fragments of your past memories. As they come back to you, it's as if the world around you is feeling these memories kind of being reborn in you as you walk. You see them start to kind of manifest in these amorphous kind of blobs of shadows around you, mimicking what's going on in your mind as more and more of your memories are coming back. Elise, almost every other shadow seems to resemble Austin. In his youth, at a desk drawing, laughing as a child when you knew him first, as an old man, frail and struggling. Each of these shadows brings you a certain kind of bittersweet little taste in your mouth as you recall some of these pleasant memories, but also still have the smell of his dying body and the blood in your nostrils from a moment ago. Margot, as you walk through, you see in the shadows the faces of all the women you've tried to help in your time, especially the ones that you failed to help. They corral you and encircle you. Further in the background, you see your husband's face, judging you, looking down at you, pointing his finger accusingly at you as you walk through these shadows of women that you failed to help and some that you've managed to help. Their wounds and bruises and the fear in their eyes apparent even in the sort of amorphous visions of their faces in these shadows. And Fiona, in the shadows, you see the faces of the women who died in that fire. You see the faces of the men and women who died at Stonewall, who were beaten by the cops. The ones who here in Montreal at Sex Garage were also beaten and imprisoned unjustly. You see their faces and are reminded of all the promises you've made over time of trying to find some measure of justice for the people in this world who are treated so unjustly and unfairly by the uncaring powers that be. And as the four of you walk through this place, you find it more and more difficult to keep walking, as if the shadows and the memories that they're bringing back to you weigh you down, drag you back, force you to contend with them, to look at them, to engage with them, to recognize them, to acknowledge them. At some point, Vico looks over his shoulder and says, "They can't harm you. You have to just keep walking. We're almost there."
Does Elise recognize what this magic is?
Elise can do a intelligence and occult roll.
That's 5 successes.
Yeah, you're pretty certain that this is the place that is called the Abyss. It's another worldly realm of shadows, and it's mainly known as the source of the manifestation of obtenebration, which is the shadow power that La Sombra's use.
Does this make me think of the place that Fletcher had explained to me?
No, the place that Fletcher had explained and talked about was something called the Void, which is kind of it's a smaller place, and it really, each La Sombra kind of has one of them, and there's just this kind of, it's really just a place of nothingness. Here, this is an actual place. It's more of a kind of a metaphysical representation of the power of the La Sombra in some ways, but it's an actual sort of world that lives between. It's kind of like you would think of Oblivion, where the wraiths go and things like that. It's like another sort of layer of the world,
Okay.
but it is an actual world and not the void.
Thank you.
Anything else anyone wants to do or say while you're walking through this shadowy netherrealm?
Yeah, I think Margot's gonna go up to Vico.
You doing okay? Still bleeding?
I'm fine. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Probably not the best time to ask this of you, but I feel like I've probably neglected this side of who I am all these years.
Never too late.
You'd help me out, right?
Of course. You didn't neglect it. It's a scary thing. Scary power, it's a scary place, it's just scary. And it's normal for some of us to fear it instinctively. The idea is to get over that instinctive fear and learn to master it. Learn to master this place. This is where our power comes from. You can learn. I'll teach you. You have already done a few things.
Yeah.
You have to be... Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You're just going to say you have to be careful because these places are not completely devoid of inhabitants, whether it's here, whether it's in your own little piece of the void in your oubliette. There are old ones, like us, some of the early ones, that exist in those places. They no longer live in the physical world like we do, and they may come to you and try to tempt you and give you some sort of idea that they are gods or someone that you should worship. You have to be careful. There is always temptation. When you were human, did you ever feel this thing where you would step to the edge of something and kind of, for a moment, fear that you might jump off? It's very similar to that.
I understand. I understand. I think I can just do so much more than what I'm doing now and give myself an edge. Something that I've probably always had, but with everything that's going on and now with this shit, they didn't seem to be resistant to the shadows, but they had these visors. You saw the visors.
They have a technological advantage, and anything that technology can interact with will probably be less effective against them, but shadows are everywhere. Darkness is everywhere. We do have an edge.
That's good. I think as they're walking sort of side by side, I think briefly she sort of looks over her shoulder back at the others. Weird fucking crowd. The company you keep is a little bit strange, Vico.
Can Bones repeat that? Because Blake didn't hear that.
It's okay. She looked back at the group and she looked at Vico and said, weird crowd, the company you keep is a little bit strange.
Oh, Desmond and Elise?
Yeah.
I knew Desmond before tonight, but not the Tremere. They came together. She knew the old man that was in my place. I think it was a good thing that she came. We managed to get some answers.
I feel like she's kind of important to this shit I'm chasing.
Don't talk to her.
she can help me.
She's strange, but her mind's where it should be. If you have questions or if I'd say just talk to her.
Yeah. Well, you know, I can deal with strange. I deal with you. And she sort of just tucks her hands in her pocket and just walks next to him.
He looks at you and says, just so you know, and there's no miscommunication, I've had intimate relations with Desmond.
You don't say.
Okay, just wanted to make sure that...
Does Desmond know that you've had intimate relations with me?
He looks over his shoulder and says, Desmond, you should know that I've had intimate relations with Margot.
Understood.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, I don't... We're just fucking.
Yeah.
Intimate relations. And she sort of like makes fun of him for that.
I come from a more polite time, that's all I can say.
So did I.
Well, you've certainly grown accustomed to the mores of Burnt Era.
It's more fun that way.
What about... Neil looks over his shoulder at Fiona. What about your friend? He's a little, tense.
Yeah, we've got some big reasons to be. And, you know, that's one bad mama.
He looks over his shoulder at you, Fiona. What is it the two you're chasing?
You're just gonna yell it over your fucking shoulder? Like...
It's not like there's anybody else that can hear us here.
Yeah, I don't even know what this is. And quite frankly, I don't know who you are, so I'm not exactly inclined to divulge my deepest, darkest secrets.
She'll look back at Fiona. That's the big scary.
This motherfucker's the big scary.
That's the big scary.
Well, he could have done a lot more for us when those fucking agents showed up, don't you think? Big, bad, scary man.
I seem to recall taking you away from that place.
Sure. When things got pinched, when they got too hard. Sure, you took us away. Fine. I'll give you that.
He looks at Margot. Not easily satisfied, your friend is.
That's my best friend.
Well,
She'll come around. Don't worry about
you're
it.
not going to tell me what you're after?
The guy. At least that's what I'm after. Fiona's got much bigger fish to fry, and I'm helping her out as much as I can, and she's helping me out with my shit, but 23 and 3 bodies in plastic wrap, dazed, confused, and seemingly had spent probably too much time in a void. And something of a shadow bride I'm to be. Sounds like my fucking husband.
Sounds like something that was in the news earlier tonight.
What?
Not long before the Aegis guys showed up. Something about 20 odd human bodies being found in a driveway in Montreal East.
What?
Someone responded to a 911 call, and there's apparently 20 some odd naked catatonic bodies in a driveway in a small townhouse in Montreal East.
Is he saying this loud enough for Fiona to hear?
I was just about to ask this.
Yeah, I'm sure, he's, at this point, you're all kind of walking close enough.
She looks at Fiona. Holy fuck.
What the fucking fuck?
What happened to my fucking bodies?
You remember being told that they had left, right, Fiona?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. Love, I had heard at the hospital that they had all walked out at some point, but I didn't think they'd walk out into the bloody snow and end up in a fucking driveway naked.
Holy fucking shit.
Yeah, holy fucking shit is right.
And Fiona, I don't know if you remember, but during the fight, you heard something about something going down in Montreal East.
Yeah,
A nest
Montreal.
of vampires being found.
A nest, and there was some specific phrase that was used that perked her ears that Kato is not remembering.
Make an intelligence roll.
Oh, God. Intelligence and what?
What's Elise doing while all this is going on?
I think she's listening to this conversation, still walking quietly along with Desmond, and when the bodies are mentioned, she's gonna chime in. I could help. If you took me there, I could probably help. But I might need a robe or something. I'm a bit cold.
Elise is still naked.
Elise is still naked. Yep. She is badass naked and covered in blood.
Margot takes off her like surplus jacket and you know what? She doesn't hand it to her. She puts it over her shoulders. She's very nice that way.
That's one success for an
That's quite
intelligence
kind
check.
of you. Thank you.
Something about the Verona protocol.
That's right. Verona protocol.
Yeah, Verona.
Right. 2 things. I get the jacket back after I find you some clothes. It's very important.
It's not really my style.
Great. Second thing. If you can fucking help me with this shit, you might save my life. You might save Fiona's life.
I can try.
There's a beer in it for you.
A beer. I've never been quite fond of beer, if I'm being very honest.
Wine, tequila, whatever, vodka.
Let's find us some clothes.
Whatever. Yeah.
I mean, I could go like this, but I don't think anybody else would appreciate it as much as I do.
It looks cool. I'm not gonna lie. I think that is quite a visceral image to behold. And however, yeah, you're probably right. I really would like to know how my fucking bodies got out there, though, Fiona.
I don't know, love.
Our problems keep fucking stacking up, and now
I think it's that fucking guy. It's the fact that we didn't take a closer look. We didn't look to see if they were still fucking alive or if they were enthralled or whatever the fuck was happening. And then they got out, and now whoever's fucking doing this is the one in charge. She glances over at Elise and she has like a moment of like, that's really hot. Nope.
I know Margot's eyes are very definitely on Elise's eyes. She's very intense eye contact right now. I took a picture of the wall and the message.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to show that to Elise.
I think I still have it. Yeah, here we go.
Is it on a cell phone?
It sure is, Shody.
Oh, Lord.
Bowie.
This is the image you're talking about?
Yeah, that's it.
There's Margot Bernier, let's play, and then there's 2 hearts pierced with an arrow.
I think when you show her the phone, she doesn't touch it or reach out for it. She almost kind of like arcs away from you and does one of these.
I think Margot is holding it closer when you do that. Like, what are you doing? Look at this.
I can see it. It's fine. Please take it away.
She pulls it back.
Where is this written?
In a storage facility where I also found 23 and 30 naked plastic wrapped people in catatonic states.
Did you take anything from that storage facility? Do you have anything physical?
I don't think
Just the image.
I don't think I did. Look.
You also remember the tattoos they had on their arms, right?
Yeah. Yes, there was the black triangle or the black pyramid, correct? Or no, it was yeah. Okay.
Which Fiona has a photo of, like a physical photo of.
No. I imagine you're both like coming at her with the pictures, and she's just like dying on the inside.
Mine's like not on a phone. Mine's like a Polaroid. Like,
oh, it's like a Polaroid. That's different.
yep,
You have
she
it
has a
on you.
printout of it.
Do you hand that to her?
Ugh, what a question. Yeah.
She takes this Polaroid, and this is so much more agreeable to her. She's holding it and kind of like rubbing her hands over the image, tracing the pyramid there on the wrist. And as she's focusing on this image, I would like to use premonition, because I don't think Spirit's Touch is really going to work on this. I think
Okay.
premonition is the way to go here.
So while you're rolling that, what's Desmond doing with all this?
Desmond right now is just taking all of this in. Desmond has not been particularly connected to the world around them since they returned to Montreal. And now they are finding that so many different things are happening. Big, small, connected, perhaps not connected. Hunters just attacking Vico's apartment. And he is just trying to make sense of all of that and try to begin to figure out what his role in all of this is, because he was meant to find Elise. He was meant to get those memories back. He is meant to be here. And he is trying to parse through ways that he can be of assistance to the others. But also, for the first time in a long time, they're thinking about what their own goals might be moving forward.
I think that, everyone probably makes some connections. The upside down pyramid being presented in a lot of the rituals and stuff that you've seen. The paper that Elise just had recently had the ritual that you did to regain your memories, right? Had these symbols in it. The upside down pyramid also. You had the other one, the paper that trying to find it right here. This one also had a lot of that, and they have that inverted parent. So you're starting to see those sort of connections kind of all seem to connect to the same symbology, I guess would be the word I'm looking for.
Bleak, I did mean to ask you this because there are so many notes I have and I can't quite remember this piece. Had Desmond ever seen that black pyramid before himself? Or is this seemingly
Yeah,
new to
definitely
him?
this was like a centerpiece of Shell's occult philosophy, if you will. Go ahead and make me a intelligence and occult, Desmond. Elise, what did you get? Or you're muted.
Oh, sorry. I got
Okay.
4 successes, but here's the problem.
Mhm.
While Elise is focusing very intently on this, you see the change happening again.
Oh, no.
She is shifting into the crone. Her body is withering and decaying and shriveling up.
Before your very eyes. Failed your rouse check, did you?
I did. I fucking did, and I'm at 3 hunger again. I went from having the perkiest titties on the planet covered in blood to now they're just, knocking around my belly button. Here we are.
Tube socks with golf balls in them.
Yep.
I think Margot's kind of watching the change happen, like, huh.
I think Fiona's standing next to Margot, like,
I think Elise smirks up out of her focusing to Margot and says, "Now you won't have to try so hard to stare at my eyes, will you?" And then her eyes kind of look back down to the Polaroid.
And you got 4 successes?
I did, yes.
I also want to remind, and I'll get to that in a second, I also want to remind Fiona and Margot that you had heard early on something about the Black Pyramid. Do you remember that?
At the hospital?
or before we found what
Even
we found
before
at
all of
the
that.
storage unit.
I would love a reminder.
Would you know?
Yeah.
I don't want to lie to you, so I'm looking forward to see exactly what it was.
Ah.
We're going to take a break here soon, so I'll look for it during the break, and I'll remind you. Come to think of it, as you reach out, Elise, and do your premonition, and as Desmond roots through his memory for some information, we're going to take a break.
Perfect.
And when we come back, we will address all these burning questions that everyone has. Hello, everybody. We're back in the abyss with our fine friends who escaped Aegis by stepping through into the abyss with a couple of sombras, and are now starting to have some discussions, put some pieces together. A triangle has 3 sides, but this plot has more than 3 sides. There's a lot of red string on the wall. So, you know. Start plucking. Start plucking, mother pluckers. Just before we left, a bunch of you were doing a bunch of rolls. Try and get a bunch of information. We're going to start with Elise, who used premonition. Can you give me a quick read up of what premonition does? Or what it will tell you? And you had 4 successes, I do believe.
Key. The vampire experiences flashes of insight. They may take the form of raised tackle, sudden inspiration, or even vivid visions. While never too precise, these visions can nudge the vampire out of harm's way or reveal a truth previously overlooked.
You focus on the image, focus on the arm. You run your fingers along the Polaroid. You can almost see the Polaroid come to life, the blood pumping through the veins in the arm. Beneath it, the light kind of changing and altering very subtly the word Serviam, which means we serve. Highlighting that inverted black pyramid. All these other black pyramids that you've seen recently, you get a sudden image. You hear the screeching of metal, you see flames, you see an inverted black pyramid on the wall with a bloody handprint and blood running down the wall from where the handprint was. You feel that the way the pyramid is designed with the word, that the service is to the bottom point. It sits in opposition to it, but you get this sort of strange energy of the person that is being served by the people who are in service is the bottom point of the triangle. The very bottom tip of the triangle. You see the possibility of your death in a flash. you know with certainty that your life or death, you Elise, is probably going to be a matter of 50-50. It's intrinsically tied to all of this. And finally, you get a sense of inheritance, like you've inherited something. As you're reeling from this, as you're stepping back and kind of dealing with all that, and Fiona and Margot, you see Elise kind of reeling from whatever she saw. Tell us, Elise, what you're doing, then I will tell Desmond what's happening to him while all this is going down. So tell us what the others see and what you're doing, and then I'll deal with Desmond in a moment.
What they see from me?
Yeah, as you get these visions.
I think she becomes overwhelmed and she almost freezes with that flash of her death, of her potential death. And her mind instantly jumps to the thought of an existence without Fletcher, and that Polaroid slips from her fingers and starts to float down to the ground, tumbling this way and that as it does so. And she's speechless.
What is it?
I don't quite understand it all. Servants at the bottom. There's an inheritance. Sometimes things come in flashes and I don't quite understand all the pieces. They don't all make sense.
Huh. You alright?
I think I will be. It's been a bit of an exciting day, yeah. I'm suddenly feeling very homesick.
And while that's going on, Desmond, the images that you're seeing, all the pyramids and all that, tying back to Trois Echelles, and you recall that Trois Echelles had two goals. One was a personal goal, one was a more altruistic goal. Both were very similar. His goal originally for the city of Montreal was to create a sort of utopia, a place where people would come and be able to study and live fulfilling lives and sort of elevate themselves and their lives. And his personal goal was the same. He called it ascension. He talked about ascending, about elevating himself, about gaining enlightenment, but it was very specifically called ascension. And you remember that being someone who dealt a lot with duality, a lot with symbology and things of that nature, he often toyed or played with the opposite, which was the inverted triangle, which shows the descent. And he talked about how there comes a time in any mage's research or life or evolution where they either choose to ascend or they choose to descend, and when they descend they become a twisted, evil, strange, alien version of themselves. You remember he talked about, thank you very much for that donation and for hanging out with us. You remember that he talked about a group of mages that he said were basically adepts of this descent. He called them the Nefandis. And these mages were mages that were exceedingly cruel and evil and twisted and alien and strange, and their minds warped by magic and by the research they'd done, the things they'd come in contact with. And he always talked about how he often reminded himself of this as the path not to walk down through the use of the symbol of the inverted pyramid. That it was a reminder to him of the path not to follow, that you had to be aware of it, you had to commune with it, you had to know it, you had to, because that is how you got to know the correct path correctly also. I'm going to check one thing here, if you'll give me a moment. I don't want to say something that shouldn't. Okay, yeah, so I'm not going to say that yet. Alright, you'll get it later.
A secret?
A secret. So that's what you're kind of coming up with through your memory.
And Bleak, I will accept the need to roll or anything else to gather this, but with the bits and pieces that Desmond has been getting from Margot and Fiona, does the type of treatment of these 23 and 3 people feel like it would align with Toisichel's goals? Or does this feel more like it is walking that descent?
I would say neither, though the complete subjugation of another living being's will, as is what seems to have happened with them, would definitely be more of a, in line with someone who is in a descent rather than an ascension.
Okay.
Does anyone want to do or say anything else? Let me know. I know some of you are cogitating, some of you are considering.
I mean, I think Desmond would speak those pieces out loud, at least to talk about the mages following the path of ascendants or descendants, that would be something he would put out for the others to be able to percolate on.
I think, Elise, you're not very knowledgeable in that type of human mage. Or your knowledge of magic amongst humans is much more of the, which variety or the sort of, Aleister Crowley kind of bullshit and things of that nature. Like, that's what you know of human magic. Like, some of it produces some effect, but a lot of it is hokum. Talk of ascendancy and descent and those things, I think, would be not completely beyond what Elise knows. I think just maybe like being something she has not been exposed to. However, you would know from Fletcher and from other things that the Tremere used to be a group of actual human mages. So there's probably information to be gained about this kind of stuff once you get back home. Kind of.
I feel like Desmond kind of adding his 2 cents into it would maybe click one of those puzzle pieces into place for her, though, from this premonition. And I think she would have, there would be a realization there enough for her to say, it seems as though these are Perhaps in service of those on the descent.
I think that may be the case, though I suppose we will have to see.
What do you know of those mages?
I know that it is a path that they choose to walk, that it is a path that leaves them twisted, a dark reflection of themselves.
Oh, when we think of things descending, it's never quite good, is it? In all the mythology, you go to hell, or some representation of such.
At least
think
you've
it's safe
already made that
Say
trip.
they're not very good guys.
I think that is an interpretation, but you have already come with me underground. Would you say this has been hell?
Well, it hasn't been quite nice, has it? A few horrible things have happened quite quickly. There was that one moment where we are naked and fabulous things were happening.
I think it is worth acknowledging that, well, terrible things have happened. Terrible things happen above and below, and while that one moment was also a unique moment of ecstasy, one thing that seems to happen in all of those stories, all of those tales of someone traveling to hell, is that it gives them a chance to reflect on their lives. And I can't speak for the others with us right now, but I believe, Elise, that the two of us have had that opportunity.
Yeah, I think we have. Where are we going? Again? She looks up towards Pico and Margot.
We're just about there. It'll be a safe space. Margot, come and help me.
She'll go to him.
The process to go back is similar, except a little bit more arduous. You have to dig in through, find a shadow like this one, and he selects one of the wispy shadows that's around, and we're going to dig our fingers in it, and we're going to open it like you would open a curtain. But the rest of the process is very similar. Gather around, everyone, and grab hands again. So, Margot, go ahead and give me a obtenebration and wits roll. Once you step through, the effect on your aroused checks will be gone.
What and a wits roll? I'm sorry.
Wits and obtenebration, or oblivion.
Okay, thank you.
Called oblivion now.
2 successes. Should I use a night move?
No, that's good. You do it again. This time, the rest of you don't have to do the willpower checks because you're going back to your own world, so you're fine. You see them open up the world, almost kind of like a curtain as they open the shadow, and you see a shadow beyond on the other side. You see a strange room. It looks like some kind of church, maybe, or something to that effect. And as they grab you by the hand and pull you through, you step out and you realize you're in some sort of massive church. Huge, beyond anything that you've probably seen before. And seeing you kind of look around, do any of you have the flaw folkloric block? Very specifically block, not folkloric bane or whatever it is the other one is. No? Okay. The only place in Montreal that would be this big is the oratory. You find yourself having arrived in one of the lower levels, which is kind of like a smaller chapel, but even this one is massive compared to a church that you would run into in the world. And as you step through, Pico says, I have friends here. Hold on a moment, I will advise them of our arrival. And he will step out and go through a door and head down a corridor, and you find yourself in this smaller chapel that is still the size of like a large church. Anyone want to do anything whilst you wait? By the way, your that issue with your Rouse checks is gone.
I think Fiona turns to Margot and just goes, I'll be honest, I'm feeling a little peckish.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not alone. Someone say something about food. I'm starving.
Fucking starving, my God.
When Vico gets back, we'll try and maybe go out and look for something. Fiona, Black Pyramid Group. It keeps coming back to my head.
I know. I keep thinking about it too. Costa said so. Wait, where is Costa? Costa did not come with us.
No, he told you that he couldn't bring your friend with you, that he was going to have to manage on his own.
Costa's dead. Cool. Okay, so I think Fiona has a moment of like, fuck, we forgot Costa, fuck, and like finally realizes what happened. But I think she says, I remember something about Costa coming and saying something about this like fleur-de-lis thing, but I think it's affiliated with this triangle thing. It just seems all fucked, quite frankly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if I'm remembering my own... And she pulls Margot aside. My own shit. I don't think it's any kind of coincidence that this is all happening, and I was witness to this triangle shirtwaist factory fire. Triangles. It's just too fucking easy. It's too much of a grasp of low-hanging fruit.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on, but some of my people are dead. And they saw videos of it, and there was someone who moved bloody fast and took out some of these fucking agents, and it's got to be all connected, right?
So if somebody was moving fast, taking out agents, that's got to be one of us.
I think so, yeah. I think maybe one of you. She like glances at Margot specifically, or maybe one of him, and looks at Vico.
Vico's not there. Vico stepped away.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, we're one and the same in a way. But that's not... If La Sombra was helping your people, or trying to...
I don't know if it was helping my people. I think it was more so just gunning for the ones who would otherwise gun for us. I don't know that that's necessarily helping my people.
I guess so. It's not our guy, though. I don't think.
Well, maybe it's time you checked in on some of your guys. Find out who's here in the city, in Ville-Marie and Montreal.
I think it would be remiss to not point out that I think Fiona would know that Margot does not have other friends. She has... Yeah, she doesn't have guys. She talks to Fiona, she talks to Vico, and the women that she helps, and that's it. And she wouldn't necessarily call them friends per se. Those are just women she's helping. She has made a point, there's a huge point that Margot isolates herself and remains isolated.
Sorry, I didn't mean to make you feel away.
No, you didn't. It's just the idea of talking to other people, you know, in that way.
I understand.
I mean, I can do what I can. I think I have to do what I can.
Would you be able to recognize someone who had powers like yours?
I think Margot would be able to spot that. Yeah, there's always a sign.
Well, maybe we talk to some of the other people that we don't necessarily know are in the city, but clearly are in the city.
Would Margot be aware of anywhere that La Sombra specifically hang out?
So, as far as you know, the only Sombra in town are you and Vico.
Okay. I don't really think that there's any in the city.
Oh, but there are, you hear Vico say as he returns. Accompanying him are two other kindred, a man and a woman. As they come in, he introduces the woman as Ferouz. And coming up behind her is a man that he introduces as Decimus. He says, there are a few more of us in town than you might know of, Margot. In fact, there are 5 of our brethren living here in the oratory. They arrived recently and have been waiting to see how the political climate in Montreal would change to welcome them or not. They are part of a group of our brethren called the Amici Noctis who defected from the Sabbat in the past few months and came to the Camarilla. As you may imagine, the welcoming they get sometimes is not as warm as they might like, and so they've been staying quiet and keeping to the shadows.
Yeah, I can understand that.
It is, I am told, about 30 minutes after dawn. We will have to stay here throughout the day, but we can rest here, we'll be safe.
Well, do you have anything to eat?
Please, God, tell us you have something to fucking eat. The
Ferouz
naked
says,
one needs a bite too.
Ferouz says, yes, I can see to getting you something. If you will be patient with me for a short while, I'll see what we can scrounge up.
That'd be great.
And she nods to the others and leaves, and Decimus and Vico stay there. While we're waiting for that, I believe I should tell you a few things, Elise, that I discovered during the ritual that might impact.
She straightens. What is this?
He says, oh, actually, I need, before we get to all that, I need you, Desmond, to give me a Wits and Oblivion.
Sure. I would absolutely love to.
Why do you want to kill Desmond?
Because he's sus.
Well, he's
Sad.
still sus over here.
2 successes.
When Vico returns, and you figure that it's probably an after effect of having gone through the abyss. When Vico returns, you can see that he's got a spirit or something lingering around him. The spirit looks at you. And you recognize, as you look back,
Sorry, I had a very naughty kitty.
you recognize Twas a Shed.
Desmond is just locked in and staring, which I suppose likely means it looks like they are just staring intensely at Vico. With like reverence in their eyes.
The spirit of Toisachel seems to notice you, but seems to not be fully there. And as Vico goes over and pulls a chair and sits down and looks at all of you, especially at you, Elise, he says, I've managed to uncover some memories during the ritual that you created for us earlier. I remember before the ritual, all I could remember was awakening beneath the Marché Bon Secours in 1976. I hid away at the time while the Camarilla was taking the city from the Sabbat throughout the 70s. I then pretended to be Ventrue for a while. You can imagine Los Sombras are not welcome at the time. Not that they are much more welcome now. But I've come to believe, especially after my trip through the abyss just now, that I might be one of the three aspects that Osmond spoke of. I have been seeing Toisachel in my dreams. I've been dreaming of the city constantly. And I believe that the body I'm currently occupying belonged to him at some point. Part of the memories I've recovered are that at some point, Toisachel was embraced by Alessandra.
Desmond says he was.
I don't know who the other two would be. I see a man who is with rats. I see a woman dressed in blue. Hey, Wanderers Haven, Jeremy. Thanks so much for coming in. We appreciate you. The spirit of Toisachel looks at you, Desmond, as he says this, and he says, you remember her, the aspect of death. Calomé de Troyes. I loved her dearly, but she betrayed me after I embraced General de Montcalm. The general was a beast, a werewolf. Calomé convinced me to do it. She wanted to create an abomination under her control, but in the end she tried to kill us both. I believe Vico is saying, while the spirit is talking to you, Desmond, of this, Toisachel was on the verge of finishing a year-long ritual that would have seen him achieve what he called ascension, but what we call as kindred Golconda, when he was killed. The ritual is lingering, unfinished. It's rotting and decaying because it's caught in stasis with it partially finished and Toisachel dead. I believe you have inherited Toisachel's will and testament, that you have the means to finish the ritual he was walking towards to achieve Golconda, and I think that you finishing the ritual he did earlier tonight proves it. To you, Desmond, the spirit is saying, my dreams have become nothing but death and decay. I've always wanted nothing but what was the best for the city. I would have created a paradise first for humans, and then for our kind. But Kalome became obsessed with our search for a call, a place of deep corruption somewhere in the city's underground. You may have found it, and it may be what is causing these nightmares. I only recovered myself recently. Something happened that caused a rending in the veil that released so many of us. Vico is saying to you, Elise, if you can do this, I believe it will bring peace to Toisichel's soul and allow him to rest and move on, and it'll free the city from his death dream. I am happy to continue working with you to try and uncover the other two are. But if you're to finish the ritual, you'll need 7 disciples as he did. You'll need to gather them about you. The spirit is talking to you, Desmond, and says, I chose the inverted pyramid because it represented to me the 3 major aspects, but it also signified growth, the broader and better aspect growing out of the darker one. Kalome corrupted that, made the symbol her own, but it is a symbol of descent into evil and madness rather than ascent into peace and enlightenment. Look for the triangle and you will find her. And I don't know, says Vico, how the rest of these things are all connected or why there are 23 and 3 bodies roaming around. All I know is that part of me used to belong to Toisichel, and that the rest of him is in these other 2. And that if you can find a way, having become the inheritor of his will and testament through these rituals inscribed on your body, that you might be able to bring peace to him and thus perhaps peace to the entire city. His goal was to achieve Golconda. It may be something that is achievable also. I will do what I can to help, but a lot of it's going to be in your hands.
Is this what you saw in the ritual? That you were him?
A part of me.
A part of you?
The body's been remade in time. Human magic, as Osmond was telling you, is extremely powerful. It allows for a total refashioning of reality. And I believe that is why I look somewhat different, because I am not completely him.
I think she has been holding that paper that Margot returned to her this whole time, and she kind of holds it on her palm, looking at it. Do you think perhaps you're one of the aspects? That each aspect has a body?
I think so. With the dreams I've been having, the things I saw during the ritual, I believe I'm one of those 3, or part of me has that part of him inside. And the other 2 exist also, the one with the rats and the woman in the blue dress.
The one with the rats. Do you know any more of them?
No, that's all I have.
I think she looks to Desmond. Aiden.
And for the first time in several moments, he pulls his eyes away from Toisachel and looks to Elise. Yes.
I think we must find these others.
I think we must as well.
And she looks to Fiona and Margot. Perhaps this person who's doing these things to the women, all those bodies, they must have something to do with this. The triangle, it all connects. Did I hear you say something about Fleur de Lis?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
How did you see it?
A few places around.
Did it say anything? Any kind of writing?
It did. Latin.
Exaltatio in Inonis?
That's right.
Do you know what it means?
I can't say that I do.
Exaltation and then a thing. Strange, huh? Storyteller, can you remind me when Elise saw the flash of the Fleur de Lis, who was she looking at? Because I know it was on the computer. She was looking at someone in specific.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm afraid of naming someone that shouldn't be named. Who are you looking at? Can you remind me when this was, or what was the content?
This was in the bookshop with Desmond, and
yes,
I cannot remember.
It was.
Yes.
The
and he
philosopher.
pulled up the person who was looking up the headless man.
Martin Martin, the philosopher writer that was doing the research on Joel Bataille.
Okay, all right.
That's why I wasn't sure if that was him, so I didn't want to just say him.
Yeah. I was about to say, I'm pretty sure it's the guy that Maria talked to.
Yeah,
in the first
the guy that
one,
Maria's character went on a date with. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just because, you know.
And the Fleur de Lis, when you saw it in these places, where were these places? Were they special to you?
One was... I'm trying to recall, because I know I had one from Costa that was the image that he gave me, and then there was another incident of it, and I can't remember off the top of my head what it was.
I think the other incident you're referring to was Margot, who had gotten it in conjunction with L'Enfant Terrible, the woman at the very beginning who told her about this guy who was doing these terrible things. That the last woman he'd done something to had seen this symbol. He had a little black book that he kept strange writing in, and that was the cover of it. And you had seen it. I think that it was you had showed it to Costa because you'd gotten it from Margot. I think it's the same.
It is.
Yeah, I think you had shown it to Costa to know if he knew anything about it, and
Margot will speak up. It oh shut up.
What?
the mages are messing with you, man.
It's my Sombra powers.
We're not allowed to be making these connections.
The technocracy is onto you.
My whole internet went out and then came right back. That was really scary. Knock on wood that everything's fine.
The technocracy. It's the technocracy. There's a bad guy in mage.
Right. She'll say it was on a book. One of the victims of my ghost that I'm chasing said that she saw him with writing in there, weird writing, but it belongs to him.
The one who has something to do with all these bodies and the triangles.
Yeah. I wrote that message on the wall.
Perhaps it has something to do with a man named Martin Guer.
Would I recognize that name in any way?
I don't see that you would, no.
Okay. Who the fuck is that?
A philosopher. Someone who was looking for something that I was looking for, ironically enough. Perhaps if we find him, he'll have some more answers for us.
Where the hell would we find him?
Not quite sure. She looks to Desmond. Aiden, I'm pretty sure your friend in the little bookshop had a picture on his computer of him.
I am pretty sure he did.
Perhaps he could help us find him. He was such a nice boy.
I am sure this goes without need to be said, but he is under my protection.
Of course. I wouldn't want anything to happen to him. He is very kind. A good soul.
Listen, if as long as he's not doing whatever the fuck this ghost I'm chasing's doing, he's just fine with me. Sounds like he's not the type.
Certainly not.
I think she's gonna look back at Fiona. Well, at least we got some boots on the ground.
Several, I'd say.
Yeah. This is turning into a huge fucking problem.
But we have places to look now. Once we rest up a bit,
I suppose
have a
we
little
do.
food.
Speaking of which, as Rose comes back, and she's carrying with her this big kind of old thermos thing, and she brings it out, and she's got a bunch of cups and lays them out. As they're distributing the blood, and you're going to be able to drink, and fine, you'll be able to get 2 points back, 2 points of hunger back. Decimus will come to you as you're hanging out. I don't know whether to call you Eden or Desmond. Decimus will come to you and say, "It's interesting meeting you here again. It's been a long time. I'm glad that time past has seemed to assuage the anger that you felt towards me such a long time ago."
And Aiden is quite used to maybe not moments quite like this, but moments of uncertainty and confusion and wondering about where in memory things like this might be kept. And this stands out starkly because they have their memories back. And so they just settle on saying, yes, well, anger does eventually begin to burn out.
Even for our kind. I was sad to hear what happened to your sister. I cared for her for a very long time.
Were you now? Did you now?
I did. I know my intentions were often suspect in your eyes, but I had the utmost care in my heart for Lady Artemisia. I was very saddened to hear of her passing.
Did you pay your respects the way you know you were meant to?
I did what I could from where I was. You can rest assured that I think of her almost every night, and I cherish every moment that I got to spend with her in Constantinople and beyond.
I hope that you think of her with proper and due respect.
Of course. You know I would never dishonor her memory.
I suppose that anger has perhaps not burned down as much as it needs to for me to not suspect that. Though your words bring me pale comfort.
Well, I will tell you one person for whom anger has not simmered down, and that is the Lamia. If she still lives today, I would caution you to avoid her path.
I will take that under advisement.
But you should rest and enjoy. I'm sure you must be very hungry. We will certainly have opportunities to speak again, since we are now both in the same city again, after so many.
Yes, I have no doubt that our paths will cross again. And I think it is just notable for at least the 3 that Desmond has been with, I suppose Vico as well. All of you have talked about hunger. Desmond has not once made any note of experiencing hunger or a drive for blood, despite the fact that you know they are injured.
Has Fiona overheard this interchangeable Desmond-Aiden thing?
I think the name Aiden was mentioned a few times, so I think you would have picked up on the 2 names, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she would sidle over to Desmond at one point. So, do I call you Desmond or do I call you Aiden?
You may call me Desmond.
Right. What's your surname, Desmond?
St. James.
What was your surname before you came to Montreal, Desmond?
Have I made that connection, storyteller? I have gotten so much information about my past.
Do you mean, are you asking me if you know what your original surname was?
As Aiden.
Aiden Joseph.
If you are asking about that ghost from my past that is haunting me, Aiden Joseph.
Interesting. Very fucking interesting.
Easy killer.
No, sweet cheeks. I would never disrespect family like that.
It's interesting. In that interaction he just had, there was no hesitation, there was no surprise. When you say that, there is a definite head tilt and look of surprise.
I'm not coming to kill you, family. Just curious about you.
The fact that you have jumped to killing is a bit of a concern.
Don't be concerned. I figured since you saw me, got a couple of fucking cops back there. Well, I don't mean any harm. Joseph family's got to stick together, right?
I suppose we do, though. You certainly have me at a disadvantage in this moment. That was my surname centuries ago.
How long is centuries ago?
1700s.
I guess I owe you more respect than that, then.
You may have to be updating me on the family tree.
Someday. Sure. I've got a bar in New York City I should take you to.
I would like to point out that Desmond looks nothing like anyone in your family.
No, I'm aware.
I think Elise sits down with you guys. She's got like the Kool-Aid mustache from drinking the blood. And she's like back to like the pretty swan. We can't kill him anyways because we need him. Obviously. Should probably drink though. She like nudges a cup at Aiden.
He takes it and he drinks, but it does seem like if you had not done that, it would have taken longer for that to happen. And there's almost a reluctance and a discomfort with the fact that now there are like multiple eyes on him while he is drinking.
Aren't we going to be here for a while? I clearly remember that I have a little story to tell you, Fiona. Perhaps you've forgotten, though.
Tell me a story, love. She takes her glass and sits back.
Didn't you have a pet that went missing? Or have you already forgotten him?
The fuck you on about?
The ghoul.
You're referring to Sebastian, then?
Oh, well, he was a very old ghoul of yours. A couple decades, was it? He must have been close to you.
The fuck you know about him?
I know who ate him and why.
Who fucking ate him?
Don't get so angry. I'm going to tell you some details. But first you have to make me a promise. Can you do that?
No, I can't.
Well, I guess if you can't make me any promises, then I can't tell you anything, though, can I?
Fine, I fucking promise.
That's a girl. It was a newborn, a child, a little baby who didn't know any better, left on the streets hungry and wild, feral. That's what she was. So, you can't kill her. But I will tell you who made her and who did it, because they're the ones to really blame now, aren't they? Who goes around making children and just dumping them on the streets to go eat innocent strangers? Bit rude, isn't it? What was her name? It was something obnoxious, a color. Oh, yes. Indigo. It's a horrible name. She's a horrible woman, too. But I'm going to say you're going to have a bit of a hard time finding her. Well, maybe not finding her, but getting to her, considering she's currently staked in the prince's office upstairs.
Indigo.
Mm-hmm.
Staked upstairs, meaning Montreal.
Yes.
Excellent. Fucking great.
If this is hell, then would that be heaven? Though you know it's not very heavenly up there, outside of my home. My home is Shangri-La, though. I do miss it.
Fiona sniffs and takes a big gulp.
I think Elise kind of leans forward towards you. I am sorry for your loss. I do want you to know that I know what it feels like to lose someone or something that you love.
Right, but me losing something I love and I care for, if it comes at the advantage of other people, do you actually really care in that case? Or do you just like to play with your food, watch people bat people around? Is that what you like? I don't know that you actually really fucking care, love.
See, I do care quite a great deal because the girl who did this horrible thing, I care about her. And she didn't know what she was doing. She didn't even know she was a kindred when we found her.
Where is she now?
I told you where the problem was.
I didn't ask that. I asked where she was.
You made a promise.
All I'm doing is asking where she might be in our fair city.
I can't tell you that. She's too important. She's precious.
Watching out for your little babies, keeping all your little strays in your house, huh? Is that what it is?
You can be mad, but I told you who the real problem is.
Yes, right. The whole real fucking problem who's currently staked in the prince's office and the prince of upstairs, where I've got no fucking say.
Well, you might be quite happy to know that the prince likes me quite a bit. We're friendly acquaintances.
Well then, in return for not killing your new little pet, your sweet little kitten, I'm gonna ask you very kindly to grant me audience with said prince so I can do away with them my goddamn self.
Yes, I'll do my very best, of course. I hate this indigo woman. She's horrible. If you meet her, you'll know how unpleasant she is, too. You'll want to kill her just for that fact alone. Coupled with the fact that she killed something dear to you. I assure you, it would be quite easy for you. But I'll do my best. Oh, trust me, I will.
I would say that I trust you as far as I could throw you, but with a good foothold, I'd launch you right into the fucking river, so... I think you can understand that I don't fucking trust you, witch. But I'm willing to go on a little faith here.
Well, how kind of you. All I'm trying to do is help. I'm not quite sure what I've earned this untrustworthy position for, but...
Call it your shifty eyes and your affiliation with him, and she throws a glance over at Desmond.
What's the matter with him? She, looks at him suspiciously and then back to you.
Let's just say he's missed a couple of fucking family reunions, shall we?
It's okay, you can keep your secrets.
Yeah, I think I will, especially around you, love. You're charming, you're delightful, you're fucking nuts. But, like I said, I can't trust you.
Well, perhaps I'll earn that.
You can certainly try.
She goes back to sipping from her cup.
It's daytime outside, so you're going to be here for... anyone else wants to do? Anyone you want to talk to? Anyone you want to grab by the bells or choke out?
I think Margot's gonna go to Vico.
You find him chatting up Decimus a little bit. As you approach, go ahead and make me a awareness
I don't want to.
and wits roll.
I refuse. I rebuke you.
You can't.
I did, so.
You can't.
2 successes.
As you approach, you hear Decimus tell Vico, "The Grey Nun is dead." And then they see you approaching. Vico says, Margot, let me introduce you. This is Decimus. Decimus has been a bit of a free agent throughout the years, never really belonging to the Sabbat nor the Camarilla, but he has always been a very devout supporter and agent of the church, as are the other 4 La Sombras who are here. Feruz is his child. There are 3 others also. You'll meet them. Decimus is one of the more knowledgeable and powerful abyss mystics I've known.
I think she looks up at him.
Pleasure to meet you, Margot.
Hi. I was talking to our mutual friend Vico here.
Yes, I'll let you two talk amongst yourselves. I look forward to seeing you again, hopefully now that we have made acquaintance. You will not hesitate to visit.
No, I meant to you, though.
Oh.
I was wondering if perhaps I can, I don't know, find refuge amongst the other La Sombra.
It would be a privilege and a pleasure to host you with us.
I've got a big problem, and seems to be spreading its fist around.
Well, as I always say, stick to the shadows until you have a good handle on the situation, and only come out when you know exactly what you're going to do and how you're going to do it. This is a place of sanctuary for you, if you wish. And of course, if, as Vico is telling me, you are interested in furthering your knowledge of abyss mysticism, myself and my child will be more than happy to assist you with that also.
Yeah, I mean, I can pack a punch, but I haven't done much with the abyss mysticism.
It is a long and difficult path, but one that you can only walk once you are ready, so you're not late to the party. You're just arriving exactly when you meant to, like a wizard.
I guess a couple hundred years too late, but that's all right.
Yeah. What's a couple hundred years these days?
I suppose so. You don't happen to know a man named Dr. Michaud, do you?
I do not know him personally, but I have heard of him. He was quite well known to us, those of us who did not have the strength of character to step out boldly, fully individuals, and always sought refuge in either the Camarilla or the body. He was a bit of a, well-respected member of our clan as someone who stood on his own.
Is he still alive?
Yes, I believe so, last I heard. I believe he is in a more westernly part of Canada. I'm sorry, I've not been over here very long. The geography of the place still escapes me somewhat. I've mostly lived in South America for the last few centuries.
No, it's fine. He was my sire.
Oh, well, no wonder then that you have such a streak of autonomy about you.
I suppose so. I recently heard his voice for the first time in a long time.
Made you sire sick, did it?
I said some questions for him, but it's fine. Yeah, you can say
I'm
that.
sure we could find way for you to get in contact with him, although you know that this explains many things, because Dr. Michaud was a fervent opponent of our practice of abyss mysticism. He believed that it was a very dangerous path to walk, and that it alienated us from those who did not walk it too much, and that it would be why he never talked about it with.
Yeah, perhaps. I think she sort of, you see a face of, you see a youthful Margot again. Despite the physical outward appearance being very youthful, you see that sort of look in her eyes of a young girl in love, in sadness.
Margot, you have a look about you of someone who has stared into darkness a lot. Now it is time for you to learn to take what you need from it, in addition to staring at it. And if you wish to speak with your sire first, that is something that I would encourage you to do. He made some good points. I'm a fervent adept, of course, of abyss mysticism, but he made some good points against it. I think it would behoove you to see what his point of view.
I don't even know how to reach out to him.
But you let me work on that.
That'd be kind.
One of our brethren who has come with us hails from more westernly parts. He may have heard more, know someone who knows someone.
Yeah. That would be good to know, yeah.
Well, you may stay here as long as you need. You may return to visit us anytime you wish. It has been a pleasure to meet you, and we will let you know as soon as dusk settles and it is safe to leave.
Thanks.
As that's going on, Elise, his child, Peruse, will come to you. She's holding a bag that appears to be full of flowers and flower petals. I'm sorry to ask this so boldly, but I believe you are of Clan Tremere.
I am.
Do you have the ability to see things connected to objects?
I can.
We've been having a visitor here at the oratory for some time now who comes in at night and actually stands in the chancel, and none of us, the area is around the altar is consecrated ground, and none of us can go near it. But this person can, and the rumors we are hearing is that in exchange for offering, this person has healed people. And we are very curious to find out who among our ranks, among the kindred, would do this. Unfortunately, none of us have this ability. The only thing that are left behind are these flowers that this person leaves at the foot of the cross. I was wondering if you might help us. In exchange, perhaps, for the sanctuary we have just provided you.
I think Elise reaches in and plucks the head of a flower from one of the bouquets. She brings it to her nose and smells it. Rubs the petals between her fingers. And the one time I get a success on a rouse check and it doesn't fucking matter. Holy hell. All right. That is 7 successes. But it's a messy critical.
Do you want to keep it or do you want to...
Of course I want to keep it. I'm going to put it up on the shelf and pet it.
You... Let me think on this for a second. I want to make it worthwhile. You smell the flower, touch it, and very quickly, with the amount of successes you get a very clear image of who the... You see, clear as day, Maria. And as you see her, she looks directly at you. And you see a third eye open in the middle of her forehead as she stares at you. And suddenly, there is this bright, blinding light. The rest of you in the room see Elise rear her head back and scream. You see this blinding flash of light that erupts from her face. All of you are pushed back and frightened by this occurrence, this happening. All of you go flying back, roll off the chairs that you're sitting on, hit the ground. This unholy dread of something grand and majestic and holy fills you with fear. You cower for a few moments before you manage to steal your will, steal your courage back. You get up slowly. You watch Elise lying on the ground. You see smoke rising from her head. You smell burnt flesh. What do you do?
I look at Vico and say, what the fuck?
Vico, like all the others, has been cowering in the bag. The La Sombra especially were very affected by this light. It's up and coming. He looks to Decimus and Ferus approach slowly, and Ferus says in Latin to Decimus, I don't know which one of you speaks Latin, but she says, was that what I think it was? And Decimus says, the light of the Lord. And as the lot of you gather around the unmoving form of Elise on the ground, you see that a crucifix has been burnt into the skin of her face, marking her as if the sun itself had scorched her face. And that, my friends, is where we are going to end not only tonight's episode of Demimonde, but also this season, Demimonde.